I have one question to ask. How is everybody's bracket doing? Is it as busted as mine is? So I had Kentucky going all the way to the final against Villanova, and that did not happen. See, I said it. I said it. You say it, and you say it out loud, and it doesn't happen. Just the basketball gods are like, no, 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 this isn't happening. It's been an entertaining opening week and stuff with the round of 64 and then the round of 32. Some of my favorite games that I watched personally these past 4 days were Michigan State versus Duke, the Michigan State versus Davidson game. That ending was pretty crazy. Baylor versus UNC. They personally busted my bracket, but St.Peters Peacocks upsetting Kentucky and then beating Murray State. Their run is pretty incredible, and it's kind of cool to see what's been going on and how many upsets have been going on in this tournament. Gonzaga versus Memphis. Memphis had the lead, and they could have won that, but Gonzaga pulled through. Michigan going on their 2-game run, beating Colorado State and then beating Tennessee. They're playing very impressive. Miami versus Auburn. Nobody picked Miami to beat Auburn, yet they upset the number 2 seed. So those were some of the pretty crazy games in this opening weekend. When you look at the Sweet 16 matchups and everything we're going into for this weekend, I would say my personal favorite matchups are these 3 matchups. Michigan versus Villanova, because you can say easily, oh, hey, Villanova will win it, but then you can also look at Michigan knows how to play in tournaments like this. And to add also, it's a rematch of the 2018 National Championship. Michigan could get a little bit of payback and knock off Villanova, but that's one of my favorite matchups. My other favorite matchup that I'm looking at is North Carolina versus UCLA. I had Baylor beating North Carolina, but I mean, the Tar Heels were able to get the upset, and so now I'm riding with them, and I think the UCLA game will be fun to watch. Can Coach K survive another round? Duke versus Texas Tech is very intriguing because it could be Coach K's last game. I think Texas Tech can match up really well with the Blue Devils, and it'll be a good game to watch. In the West, my predictions don't change and stuff. Representing in the Elite Eight matchup, I have Duke versus Gonzaga. In the South, I changed it up a little bit just because I didn't see, Seton Hall upsetting Arizona. I'm going to say Houston. Now, I still don't see Arizona coming out of the South, so in the Elite Eight matchup, I have Houston versus Villanova. In the Midwest, my guess for Wisconsin to make some noise is wrong. And so now I have to change, and I would say now I can see Iowa State beating Miami, and so I have Iowa State versus Kansas in the Elite Eight. In the East, I'm going to go strictly just momentum-wise and how this tournament has played out so far. I want St. Peters to beat Purdue. Will they? Probably not, but I think if they can beat Murray State and they can beat Kentucky, why not? I think they could beat Purdue. And so, I'm going to go for the Peacocks, and I'm going to have St. Peters versus North Carolina in the Elite Eight. Dream matchups, if you look at every single team that's still in the field of play, some dream matchups that I think would be really cool and really intriguing to see in the final, not necessarily the Final Four, but in the national championship game. I wrote down Duke versus Kansas. That would be really cool to see. Or Villanova versus Gonzaga. Personally, for my favorite teams, a dream matchup for me would be seeing North Carolina continuing their Cinderella run. Same with Michigan, and those two meeting up in the final. Will it happen? No, but that would be really cool to see. Everybody is talking about this one, but Gonzaga versus Arizona is another dream matchup. I personally think one of those two teams is going to get knocked off before it happens. Who knows? Maybe Arizona could survive Houston and get into the Final Four, or they get upset early and Gonzaga is the only one that represents out of those two teams. You never know. From the Sweet 16 on, my Final Four picks have changed a little bit. I still have Duke, but my new team now is North Carolina instead of Kentucky. I'm still sticking with Villanova. I do think Villanova can win the South, because if it wasn't Villanova, I'd pick Michigan. And then in the Midwest, I still have Kansas. Hopefully this weekend is just as good as the round of 64 and the round of 32, and there's some major upsets and buzzer beaters. We need a buzzer beater. I think a buzzer beater is going to happen in one of these games, like the Duke game. I could see there being a buzzer, or the Houston game. You know what? That's it right there. But now since I said it's not going to happen, Houston is going to beat Arizona on a buzzer beater. Okay, I'm teasing, but all right, peace.